You're going to love this feature. It's Selling Lane's super customizable condition report. A lot of companies have condition reports on vehicles and other items, but most of those companies will have locked down condition reports that can only be modified by the company. With Selling Lane, the condition reports are customizable and you can have as many as you like. So if you have an auction that's running cars, trucks, and boats, you could have 3 different kinds of condition reports, one specifically for each kind of vehicle. A perfect example of this would be a farm equipment auction that would have combine harvesters and tractors and loaders, and you can have a condition report for each kind if you want, or you could create a generic condition report, which I'll show you in this video, that maybe covers multiple types of items in your auction. And condition reports can be for art, they can be for horses, they can be for anything that you might be selling, any product that you might be selling in your auction. So let's dig in. Today we're going to do a demo of 2 different kinds of vehicle condition reports. So in this particular case, I have a full condition report that we can use. Let's take a look at that. And you can see that it's broken down into areas: driveline, issues and cleanliness, front and driver side, the back and passenger side, and of course, all of this is modifiable. So for example, if I'm looking at the rear window and I can say things like standard wear for the age, or broken, chipped, cracked, missing, pitted, whatever. And if I save this, now in preview, you can see it generates a beautiful condition report, and it's color-coded based on severity, which is an absolute genius feature that allows a customer to scan a condition report from a distance and understand condition just based on color. Let me show you what I mean. So in this case, we're going to say that rear window is actually cracked, and we're going to say those tires are really not that great. In fact, they're very poor. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, and now I can save, but I'm going to just save and not exit because I want to preview. It says, "Are you sure?" And you go, "Yes." And then you hit preview, and now you see these reds, which is showing you that the tires on this particular vehicle are pretty bad. So you get the general idea. I have a simpler version of this condition report. It's called a simple powertrain, and you can see that what's happened here is the software picks the last saved condition report as the one it's going to display on the product for you. So you can see this one we just modified. So I'm going to switch to this one. This simple powertrain condition report is the typical condition report used by companies like CarMax auctions, because what they do is they only guarantee the powertrain, for example. So let's go ahead and use that. And you can see I actually modified it a little slightly and made it a powertrain and cleanliness condition report. So we go ahead and click through these. We say it runs and drives. We tested the transmission, it's functional. We tested the brakes and they're functional. We tested the exhaust. And let's say, you know what, sounds a little bit noisy. It might have been modified, so I'm going to go ahead and change that. Let's look at the engine compartment. It looks pretty clean. Let's look at the exterior condition. It looks like somebody actually freshly detailed the exterior, the trunk and boot and bed. In this case, it's a car, so it's a trunk and boot if you're in Europe. And I'm going to go ahead and mark that as clean. Let's do the interior condition. An overall interior condition looks freshly detailed, but I noticed some rodent damage in the rear seat, which is, common for cars that are sitting at auction for weeks on end. So let's go ahead and mark it that way. That's kind of a negative thing, but it is what it is. And I'm going to hit save, and it's going to confirm. You say yes, and then let's preview this. And you can see this now is a very simple condition report that could be used for, just for speed. If you're loading in hundreds of cars in a single auction, you may not want to do full detailed condition reports, or you may want to charge for a full condition report, which is something that you could do. So the seller might require or ask for full condition reports on their vehicles to help get better value for it. It's entirely up to you. And that's the beauty of the dual condition report model. Before I hit back, let me show you what it looks like printed. So you hit Control-P to hit print, and it brings up the condition report. And now most of the time, I like these condition reports, the short ones anyway, I like them laid out in a landscape view, so it looks a little prettier. So this is what it's going to look like on paper. Pretty nice. And that could be taped to the car if you want. You can, include it with your paperwork. It's really it's up to you how you want to use this. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit back out of here and get back to the condition report. I'm going to exit. And you'll see now something has changed. So it's now last edited by Raul for the simple condition report. A minute ago, it was for the full. And you can see it's no longer using the full condition report as the condition type, which is a really nice feature. You're probably thinking right now of all the different ways that you could use this condition report, and the beauty is that you can modify just about everything on this page. So I'm going to take you over to the modification screen in settings to show you just a brief demo. So I'm over here in the condition report section, and you can see that this particular auction has 3 different condition reports in use, including a farm equipment auction. So let me show you that one real quick. And you can see these are the groups: exterior, drivetrain, and with obviously farm equipment, you have PTOs and cabin interiors and electrical systems and undercarriage and operational testing and even attachments that might be attached to those items. And again, you can add as many groups as you like and add images for each group so that the condition report makes sense to the customer. These are all the fields that you can modify, change, or add to your condition report. Again, highly customizable. I don't want to turn this demo into training. In fact, we will have a training video just for the modification of condition reports and, of course, creating condition reports. Look for that in the help section of the Selling Lane website. I mean, I imagine you're thinking of all the different ways you could use this. You could expand it, or you could keep it simple. You can change your images, put your own logos on it. It's absolutely as customizable as you'd like it to be. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for potentially considering Selling Lane as your next auction software. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.